What's up, everybody? We're back. It's been another month. I can't believe it. Back in Boston this week, rocking the Jabmo t-shirt. Just kind of brings a little comfort, a little familiarity when you're not outside of the headquarter office in Austin. Hopefully everybody's surviving this hot summer. It's been hot. And maybe it's appropriate that we're going to talk about a hot topic. We got something really that's probably on the forefront of everybody's minds, something that's really real that we're all experiencing, I think, as consumers, as individuals, but also within our businesses. Supply chain, the dreaded word or words, supply chain issues. It's the elephant in the room. We might as well address it right up front. It's here. We can't control some of it. We don't know how long it's going to be around. And many of our customers are scratching their heads and saying, okay, well, what can we do? What can we do to be successful during this time, to market during this time, to make the business case internally that these activities are important. We're hearing, and we know it's hard. We're hearing that some of our marketing customers are acting more like customer success or customer support personnel, taking phone calls, working in the warehouses to pack things, doing really everything that would be outside of the traditional role of marketing to deal with these difficult times, these supply chain challenging times. So I was thinking a lot about what we could talk about this week, and I think this is a relevant topic. I mean, we gotta address it head on, and it's interesting. One of our manufacturing customers in the color management space was talking about the other day how, given these challenges, right, these supply challenges, these product limitations and things like that, their CFO is actually walking around just slashing budgets, just cutting budgets in half, reducing them to the quarter of what they were. And, he told me that he said to his CFO the other day, he said, we can do some of these things. We can cut back, we can stop our programs, but this whole digital marketing train that we've got going here is like a freight train. It takes a while to build, it takes a while to gain momentum, but once it's going, it's moving. And if you stop it, it's going to take the same amount of time to get going. And when our customers are ready, because they will be ready again, they may not be thinking about us. So it got me thinking about this topic for today. And, what you can do with your existing customers, right? Global manufacturers and life science companies that we support are really, 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 really embedded and invested with their existing customer base. And what can they do during these times? And the analysts like Forrester are talking about it. They talk about how I think it's greater than 70% of ABM and digital is used for existing customers. So we're already applying these strategies there. But what can you do if you don't have the product availability or you're not able to fulfill? And maybe the commercial use case, the new innovation, the new idea isn't the best thing to talk about right now because you're not going to be able to deliver on it. So I was thinking about a couple customer use cases, and we're working through this with everyone. But one medical device manufacturer comes to mind, which had some really interesting results when they ran the campaign. They focused on getting a message out to their customer accounts, and the message was not about the product, for those hospitals, for those healthcare facilities. It was actually around a thank you message to thank nurses for their frontline efforts over the last couple of years, and the different things and challenges that they've been up against. And there was no call to action. Nice imagery, nice, direct, transparent thank you message. And what was really interesting is that this ad program that they ran to these existing customer accounts ended up having one of the highest CTRs of anything that they had done on the commercial side. And yes, there was no tangible commercial direct benefit of that, but there was a mind share, there was a brand, there was an empathetic, a level of understanding message achieved, which was really, really exciting. So they shifted some of the messaging and did some things around that level to keep the communication going, but not necessarily talk about the products that they weren't ready to fulfill against, but keep the mind share with the customers. We thought that was really interesting, and the performance of the message went through the roof for their customers. Really, really, really high CTR rate, which is one metric of many metrics to talk about how content is relevant with your audience. But it showed that they're listening and they're aware and they know what's been happening in the last several years, and they wanted to tell that story and wanted to acknowledge it up front. Another one of our manufacturers, similar space, had a challenge with a component for one of the devices for the new product. They had the new product, they had been promoting the new product, and then ran into the challenges with a component to make that thing work. So what they did is they shifted actually the messaging back to their customers around the old product that they had, and talked about how this old product is still able to address the core challenges for them and will be able to carry them through this period of time for when the next product will be ready. And I thought that was a really interesting use case too, because there's oftentimes the desire, the expectation to grow, to innovate, to push what's new, and they still will do that. They will do that, and they will talk about their innovative ideas. But there is value today in what they're using, and they want to double down on that messaging, tweak it a little bit so that they again maintain the mind share with their customers, and when things are ready, they'll be front and center. So that was a really cool use case, similar industry. Another one that I think is obvious to most folks, and we've been talking about this term for as long as I've been in the business world, which hasn't been that long, but it's been well over a decade, is sustainability, right? Everybody wants to be sustainable. Everybody wants to be green. My colleague and I were at a site tour a few weeks ago, and we were talking with the manufacturer that makes bottle caps, right, for all the products that we enjoy, the drinks that we use. And they were talking about how sustainability metrics and goals are now tied to the commercial RFPs that they participate in. They've got to show this stuff tangibly and how they're making an impact to be considered. So, there's a lot of hard numbers and metrics that now investors and shareholders are holding companies to when it comes to sustainability. And we're seeing a lot of our customers double down on that kind of messaging and talking about things that need to happen a couple years out. So they're moving funds that were traditionally allocated towards new product, commercial activities to this more branding, sustainability type messaging, which does have a commercial impact ultimately, but not as direct. And they're moving and talking about that in a very real way. So I think the takeaway here is, while the inclination and the pressure during these supply chain challenges is to want to cut, to want to stop, to want to pause, to be asked to do a lot of different things that are outside of your fundamental roles as marketers. And we're not saying that some of those things have to happen, but what we're saying is there are things that you can do. There are messaging modifications that can be made that can keep your brand, keep your message in front of the customers that matter most to your business, so that when they are ready, when you are ready, when things are ready, you'll be able to seamlessly pick up where you left off. So think about it. Thank you campaigns. The old product is still here and able to work for you while we get to the new phase of sustainability, the environment. It's material now in terms of participating in new projects. So these are just a couple of things. Who knows? We don't have a crystal ball. If I did, maybe I wouldn't be on video right now chatting with you guys, but maybe I would be, and then maybe I'd share some of those things. The point is that you've invested as an organization in a lot of time and energy to create momentum with your customers, to create movement, to grow mind share. to get them in front of content that matters. It is like a freight train. It takes a while, right, to see what's resonating, to understand that activity, to make the case, to get the messaging out. Let's not pause it. Let's just think about other areas that we can talk about, and be creative, right? Even if it is a product-centric message, right? The old versus the new, as an example, or the thank you campaign, which has nothing to do with commercial and no call to action, or sustainability, which everybody's talking about. Just 3 ideas. There's more ideas than that. Our team is consulting every week with our customers around this. We're doing a heck of a lot more one-off campaign strategy type sessions, and they're interesting because we're whiteboarding and we're trying to understand, given where they are, given the supply changes that they are uniquely facing, what are some avenues? And we've got examples. We've got real life examples to share, and it's making a difference. So, I would say, let's stay positive. Let's focus on maintaining that mind share with our customers, and you're doing a great job. And things will get better. Things will improve. But there's things that can be done now, and there's value that can still be portrayed now from the marketing side, even if it's not so directly commercial, because there are those challenges. Anyway, folks, hope everybody stays cool. Look forward to more conversations. I think, things are going to get really, really interesting over the next few months. We're happy to partner with you. We're happy to talk with you. We're happy to strategize with you. And we look forward to it. Until then, keep on engaging. See you, everybody.